Hello, this is Professor Sampson, and this video is going to be about how to graph a linear inequality. Now, back when I showed you how to graph in Chapter 20 to graph simultaneous equations, it's going to be the same method. You still have a y equals button, so you're always going to rearrange your equation so that you have the y by itself. So let's begin with that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add the 5x, right? So we're going to add 5x to both sides, plus 5x, plus 5x. That's going to leave us with 6y is less than or equal to 5x plus 30, or 30 plus 5x, it doesn't matter. Then you're going to get this y by itself, you're going to divide everything by 6. Once you do that, you're going to get y is less than or equal to 5 over 6x plus 5. So this is your equation you're going to put into your calculator. The difference between graphing linear equations and linear inequalities is the fact that you're going to, when you see that, that's going to tell you to shade. Now if you have the less than symbol, less than is going to tell you to shade lower or below the line. And then your greater than symbol is going to tell you to shade higher than or above the line. Alright? So that's going to be your difference. In our equation we have a less than. But the first thing we're going to do is put this y equals 5x plus 5 into our calculator. Okay. So I got my calculator, and I'm going to put in this 5 over 6x plus 5. Alright? So 5 over 6 okay, I'll put that in there. And then I'm going to find me 2 points. Go to the table and find me 2 points. I have 0, 5 as one of my points. And then negative 6, 0. So 0, 5 and negative 6, 0 are 2 of my points. Alright, I'm going to graph those. 0, 5 is up there. You might not see it, but again, you're going to be doing this on my math lab. 0, 5, then negative 6, 0. So negative 6, 0 is right there. And I'm going to use my ruler to connect it. Okay. So that's the line you're going to make on my math lab. Now the last question is, where are we going to shade? All right, where are we going to shade? Because we have to shade for an inequality. Remember, I told you that in our inequality we had a less than sign. Less than means shade lower or below the line. So you have to figure out, what do you think is below the line? Alright? So this is below the line, but if you want to use your calculator, you can also use your calculator. Long as you know that you're supposed to be shading in lower. You would go to y equals, and then you would go over to right in front of the y1. Now as you hit that, you'll see enter. As you hit that, you'll see that little slash change. First one is some darker slash. Now that one right here is showing an above the line shaded. Alright? If you hit enter again, you'll see below the line shaded. So you leave it there, and then you hit graph. And the calculator will tell you where you should shade. So it's telling me that I need to shade down here below my line, which would be here. So in my math lab, you would click the tool to shade, and you would shade this side. And that's how you use your calculator to show you what you need to shade. Alright? Let's try another type of problem which is important in getting your y equals by itself. Alright, we're going to try (7x minus y) is greater than or equal to 1. Alright, so let's do that. 7x minus y is greater than or equal to 1. Alright, we're going to get the y by itself. First we're going to subtract 7x from both sides. That's going to leave us with negative y is greater than or equal to negative 1 minus 7x. Then, as we spoke about before, you can't have a negative y, so what you have to do is you're going to change the sign of everything else by dividing through by negative 1. Now when you change the sign, that also includes this sign. That means that that sign needs to be changed also. So not only do you change the signs, you are going to flip that sign around. So when we do that, we're going to get y. We flip the sign to less than or equal to. It used to be greater than or equal to. This is going to become 1, and that's going to become plus 7x from our other video. So remember, when you divide by negative 1 and you're flipping this to make this positive, you have to flip everything including the sign. Okay? So then we'll go back in, and I'm actually going to graph a different way. Alright, as far as my calculator is concerned, I can use y equals mx plus b, with 1 being my intercept. And then 7 is my rise over run. Alright, or I could just pop it in my calculator and get my points. So here I have my points. To save time, I didn't want to use my calculator, but you use your calculator. So you're going to have this in my math lab. Then remember, we have the less than sign, which is going to tell us to shade lower than that. So we got 1 plus 7x. Alright, 1 plus 7x. And then we need to shade lower than it. We're in front, we're going to hit enter until we see that the bottom is shaded. That's the top shaded. This is the bottom shaded, and then we're going to graph it. And then the calculator is going to tell us what the bottom is, what lower is, if we didn't realize that that was below the line. So you see my line and that line is the same. And then I would have in my math lab that I would shade everything under there. Alright. So that's how you use it to shade. And don't forget that when you have a negative here, you have to flip the sign. And that's how you use your calculator to solve inequalities and to also show you where to shade at.